Okay, live. Right. Can I tell if there's anyone here? Let's have a look. How can I tell who's here? Hello. Okay, yeah, I can see there's people here now. Cool. Well, welcome to those that are here. Thanks for joining me. So I just decided to do this live. I've not done one for quite some time. I used to do them in the upstairs of my garage, and it got too cold in the winter and too hot. Them again in here. Um, can you let me know if you can see me okay and hear me okay? Hey, Catherine. Just I'm getting kind of an okay picture, but it seems to be a little bit jumpy. So just let me know if it all looks and sounds okay. Um, that would be great if someone could let me know in the comments. Hey Terry, how you doing? It is breaking up a bit. Okay, noted. Might just have to live with that. We'll see how it all goes. But yeah, this was just kind of a I hit 1,000 subscribers last week, and it said yeah, I can see us jumping a little bit there. We'll see how we get on. Um, so yeah, it was really just to kind of celebrate that. And since I last did a live, there's been a lot of people who've subscribed to the channel, and I've not had a chance to talk to those people real time. So the idea was that do this and get a chance to speak to everybody and take questions and things like that. So if there are questions, obviously just let me know. I'm just looking at the comments just now of Hills and Hearth. There we go. Welcome. Sorry, I'm dipping out of the screen there. Welcome. Yeah, uh, I am. Yeah, I am chuffed. Yeah, it's been less than a year that I've been doing it. So it's taken a little bit of time to get to 1,000 subscribers. People look at it as a bit of a milestone. It's nice to get to. Doesn't really change an awful lot in terms of it's just a number at the end of the day. But and I'm not near getting monetized yet. I think at the moment I'm sitting at about 2,000, just over 2,000 watch hours. So only halfway there on watch hours, but maybe this live will help. Who knows? But it's still it's good. A lot of it's just happened in the last couple of months. Started to get videos that were starting to get kind of north of 500 views and kind of 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 views. And obviously that's helped with the subscribers jumping, and the watch hours has increased a little bit as well. So yeah, it's a nice milestone to hit. It's taken a little while, but as I've said in my own videos, everyone's path on YouTube is different, and hopefully it shows to a few people that perseverance can kind of you can start to see traction. And everyone's path's different. Like I say, there's some people. If anyone's watched, and if you haven't, I recommend you do. Solo Retired Life. She set up her channel a few weeks ago, and I think she was monetized within a week through 2 videos. So it just goes to show that everyone's different. So yeah, I'm just going to have a look at some comments and bring them up on screen. Terry Miller, hello. I'm on about 240 subs. At what point did it go from slow grow to then faster? Yeah, that's a good question. So as I said a minute ago, I think I'm trying to think where. If you bear with me, I can probably tell you exactly how things have panned out. Just bear with me. I was looking at this the other day. I'm not quite sure how I got the view. I can't quite. It's typical. I can't quite figure out how audience size and growth, is that it? Last 28 days, last 365 days. Sorry, you're not seeing this. I'm just looking at YouTube. Yeah. So quite weird. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, so I started the channel properly in April last year. And it was kind of, well, I had 55 subscribers when I started, and that was because I recycled an old channel from 7 years ago when I did landscape photography. So I didn't start with zero, but I started at the beginning of April, and on the 1st of July, I hit 100 subscribers. So April, May, June, 3 months it took me to get from 55 to 100. So you can appreciate that was quite small growth through till the start of July. And then I think probably, and then obviously October, November, December, January, and February it's taken me to 1,000. So the jumps did start to get bigger. I think that, I say, I had one video that didn't do anything for about 2 months, and then all of a sudden it started getting views. It wasn't like kind of like a viral video or anything like that, but it just kind of started slowly and steadily picking up views, and I got a lot of subscribers from that video. And then just before Christmas, I put out another video which did well. It quickly got to over 1,000 views, and typically my videos were kind of less than 500 views. And then since then, I've had a few videos that have had 2,500, 3,500 kind of views from those videos as well. So it's all been fairly recent, to be perfectly honest, that's kind of happened. So, um, but yeah, I mean, there's been times where I've thought about throwing in the towel, multiple times that I've thought about quitting because I wasn't seeing much growth. But I've just persevered, and seem to have found a kind of style that I seem to do better with. I'd spent a lot of time trying to do kind of scripted videos and more natural videos, which is kind of what I've went towards now. I just kind of talk off the cuff, out walking the dog, and that seems to do better. When I was doing scripts, it was all kind of quite forced and didn't really come across all that well. So, yeah, I've tried all sorts of things, and I think kind of picking up on what was kind of performing better, I've just kind of linked into that, and it's started to move from there, I guess. Right, let's have a look at some more comments. Trail Watch, congrats, Steve. Thank you. Life with Ricky, well done. Thanks very much. Catherine, saying hi to Lisa there. Hello to Lisa as well. This live will help. I'm assuming you mean the watch hours. Yeah. One Take Adventures, congrats. I'm in such a strange niche, I doubt I will ever see 1,000 subs. But happy to see you get there. Well, I'm not entirely sure what your kind of niche is, but you just don't know. I think so many people, even a really small niche, there's a potential to grow a big audience, I think. But as long as you're having fun trying to get there, that's the main thing. It's as I said, there were a couple of times I thought about quitting myself, but once I started finding my style, and I really enjoy doing it outside, making the videos outside. I like being outdoors, and because I've made it such a way that it's quite basic, to be honest. I don't edit hugely, um, and because I'm not doing scripts, it doesn't take me long to make videos, and I get to be outside, so I really enjoy it. I enjoy the process. I enjoy uh, the engagement on the videos, the comments that we get. That the social side of YouTube. So if you are passionate about it and enjoy it, then and it doesn't feel like it's laborious or feels like it's work, then you can keep going. And the longer you keep going, the more chance you've got that things will kind of take off. Okay. Time Space UK, good to see you go live, Steve. Thanks a lot for your content. Been binging your videos. Keep up the great work. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you've been enjoying the videos. And yeah, I'm not sure if this is going to become a regular thing with the lives. I might try and do it every couple of weeks. That's what I used to do. I used to do it every 2 weeks. So yeah, might get back into it because I did enjoy them when I was doing them before. Okay. The JP project. Congrats on 1K subs. I've been lurking around your channel for some time, and it's great to see your growth. Thank you very much. Joined. Apologies. I know that the camera's a bit stuttery. I think that's just my internet. I decided to use StreamYard today just because it's a bit easier, and it's the first time I'd gone live for a while. I normally use OBS. Is it OBS? It's been so long since I've used it, I can't remember what it's called. But it's a little bit fidgety, and I wasn't sure going live for the first time in a while if it would work. But it seems to perform better. So yeah, I have been told the camera's a little bit jittery, so apologies if it's annoying you. Hit the like button, says Spirit Bags. Yes, please. Thank you. Introvert in Alaska. Hi, Steve. Congratulations. Thank you very much. Thanks for supporting the channel. Michael Lamar. Audience too, so that's awesome. It's well deserved. Yeah, I mean, it's that's the kind of satisfying thing about the fact that the channel's kind of grown up a little bit now, is that you do see a lot of the same names coming up in the comments on videos, and it does feel like there's a community element to it now. The worst part in the last year has been when you're putting videos out there and no one's really commenting on them, because you feel like you're not, like, no one's gaining anything from them. So when you start to see people commenting, usually if I comment on a video, I do it because I've enjoyed watching it, or I've got something from the video. So I like to think that that's the same for people that watch mine and comment on mine. Obviously, there's the odd person who comments things that aren't very nice. I've started to get a few more of those, but yeah, I just thick-skinned enough to just ignore that. But yeah, since lately, there's been lots of comments, and seeing the same people commenting and knowing that people are kind of regularly watching my videos is really nice. It's quite humbling as well. And obviously, if you join other people's lives and you see some of those people there as well, obviously, I know a lot of people that watch my videos also go and watch Rob the Maritimer's videos, because obviously we talk about similar things, and he obviously does his lives every week, and they don't always time in well for me, but I try and join them when I can. And obviously I see a lot of the people who comment on my videos in there, and it's nice to chat to them in real time. So without having that element to it, then it wouldn't really feel very rewarding. So yeah, it's good to have that. Okay, let's have a look at the comments. Older Life Adventures, hello. Hi Steve, you may have said this already, but do you have an ultimate goal for your channel? Self-funding hobby, full-time job, side hustle, early retirement plan? I mean, I'll see how it goes. I mean, ultimately, it would be great to give up the day job and do YouTube full time, and help other people with their channels. That is, what I'd like to do, and I'm kind of starting to put the foundations of that in place. Um, but worst case scenario, if I can get monetized and make some form of side, just about knocking my microphone over, make some kind of side income. If it was like, great. Um, so yeah, I mean, I enjoy it. I would love it to become a full time thing. And obviously, I've seen other people, such as Rob, the maritimer, do that. So yeah, it would be nice to think that that could happen. And I'm kind of slowly chipping away at trying to make that happen. But even without that, I'm really enjoying it anyway. So it's great to have something that you find really fun, but it's maybe got the potential to become something bigger. So yeah. Okay, so look, trying to struggle catching up with comments here. Uh, Ricky O'Zero, congratulations! You definitely taught me to just keep pushing. Well, that's good to know, and yeah, it's absolutely true. As I say, I'm a good example of the fact that um, you know growth isn't instant. Even at 1,000 subscribers, it's still a small channel. Um, but everyone is different. Some people could take, it's taken me the guts of a year to get to this point. It could take people 2 years. It could take people 2 days. You just don't know. But the only way to guarantee not getting there is to just stop. And that's what I always say in my videos, is to encourage people to just kind of keep going and you know keep thinking about who your viewer is, what they want to watch, what they're looking for, and just consistently make videos for those people. And um, you know, slowly you can build something for sure. Okay. The goat, Steve. Don't forget about us when you get big and make it out of the hood. Well, I don't know if it's ever going to be that big. We'll see. But no, this is the thing. It's I've mentioned him already, but Rob, the Maritimer, is obviously a bit of a kind of role model for me, if you like, because obviously what he's done with his channel, um, is obviously great. He recently hit 100,000 subscribers. I was on his live when he did, and it was a really nice moment. I know some of you would have been on it as well. And the great thing about Rob is that, despite the size that he's gotten to, and he's obviously made it a full-time business, he still religiously does his lives every Tuesday, with his community. He still responds to so many comments as well. And that's quite unique for a channel of that size, I think. So that shows me that he hasn't forgotten about his subscribers, and rightly so, because that's what makes your channel. Is the people who watch your videos. So it's a good philosophy to live by, and I think that's what would be my main thing, is to keep that going, no matter how big the channel got in the future, because I'm quite a humbled, kind of down to earth person. So um, I wouldn't be getting carried away with myself. It's just it'll always be the same. That's what my kind of mantra is, if you like. Okay, keep going through these comments. we go. We've got a question from JP Project. What advice would you give someone struggling to find their niche? Just make videos anyway, or is the niche a must? So my take on that is, if you want to grow a channel, then yes, you should probably have a niche in mind. Now, it's not to say that you can't publish whatever videos you like and then settle on a niche and then do it. But, when you publish your first video, it obviously just kind of pushes that video out to quite a small number of people initially, because it doesn't really know what this channel's all about yet. And YouTube's job is for every person who logs into YouTube, is to put videos in front of them that they think they're going to want to watch. Because obviously, the more people that watch YouTube, the more money they make. So, in order to train YouTube that you are making videos on a particular topic, and make it easier for them to know, okay, this person is consistently making videos on baking. Okay, we know people who have already looked for baking videos, who have watched baking videos, so we're going to push that to these people. And obviously, the more that trust is built up, the wider it casts the net in terms of trying to give you potential viewers. So you could not have a niche for, say, 10 to 20 videos, just finding your feet, but you're going to have to kind of, say on the 20th video you decided on your niche, then you're going to have to kind of start from scratch at that point, if that makes sense. So it just depends how you want to approach it. If you're looking to grow a channel, I would say try and, settle on a niche. But, one other thing I would say is, when it comes to like a niche, it would be, pick something that you really enjoy talking about. Don't pick a niche just because it's like a popular topic. For example, a lot of popular channels that do quite well, especially from AdSense, because they're just because of the topics that they're talking about, is like, people that talk about like personal finance or growing side hustles and that type of thing, because there's obviously lots of people looking for that type of content. And I actually know of someone who started a channel on kind of making money, but it just didn't really excite them, and I think that came across in their videos. They didn't really, they just weren't passionate about it enough to keep it going long term. So if you can find something that you really enjoy talking about, and it helps obviously if that's something that people are looking for. So go onto YouTube and see, is there a demand? Because if you can find videos on the same niche that are getting lots of views, and that's a good indicator that there is a demand for that. So hopefully that helps. Okay, let's go through some more comments. Flight Quest, hey Flight Quest, time to climb Everest. Yeah, it's if I was climbing Everest, I probably haven't left base camp yet. Might not even be at base camp. Near death and back. Way to go, buddy. Thank you. Metal Ladyland, what is your star GE niches? What is your star G? I'm not sure. Oh, is that maybe a question for someone else? If it is for me, I'm not quite sure what it meant. Right. Elite Chronicle clips. Congrats. Still on journey to 1,000. Yeah, just keep going. Just keep going. Keep making videos for your niche, and you should get there. Yeah, I think maybe this was. Yeah, I think it was for One Adventures. Yeah. See, this is the trouble with not keeping up with the chat. Introvert in Alaska. One Take Adventures, you've got this. Yeah, good to see some support going there. Yeah, stick at it. Don't think that your niche is too niche. As I said, there's such a huge pool of people that are on YouTube. So, yeah, just keep going. Oh, Matt's here. Hey, Matt, how you doing? Thanks, mate. I actually know Matt in real life, so who's also got a YouTube channel. Elite Chronicle clips. How long did it take to reach 1,000? So yeah, so I said right at the start of the video that I started properly in April last year. So we're almost at March. So yeah, about 11 months, I guess. But I did technically cheat because I started with 55 subscribers because it was a channel from 7 years ago that I'd abandoned. It was a photography channel. But obviously I've lost subscribers along the way as well, as you do. But yeah, it's taken me about that kind of length. Early on because I said it again at the start of this live that I was. I guess you do have to experiment a little bit and finding what style suits you and that type of thing. But um, I did a lot of scripted videos and they just didn't really go down well. I also spent a lot of time because of the topic that I talk about. I felt like I had to make these. If your videos get less than 500 views, then do this and type of videos. And I wasn't even getting more than 500 views myself at that point. So, and people did call me out for it. And those videos weren't doing well because as a someone as a viewer, why would I click on that small channel telling me how to grow or how to get views? You just wouldn't, would you? So I kind of changed tact slightly and made it more about kind of talking about kind of the struggles that you find as a new or channel, or some of the fears or the unknowns before you start creating a channel, because that's stuff that I can talk about, and obviously a lot of people will resonate with that as well. And obviously now that things have progressed a little bit, I can maybe start making videos that are a little bit leaning towards that, but without being kind of too preachy about it, because there's obviously people who have been at it for longer with bigger channels that have got far more authority to talk about those types of things. So, I wasted a lot of time making videos that I probably shouldn't have been making, but it was, it's a learning process, isn't it? So now that I've kind of found my style, yeah, and consistently doing that, then it seems to be doing better. But as I said, that's my particular path to 1,000 subscribers. Lots of people have done it different ways. Some way sooner, and some that have taken longer. And I guess there's no secret formula that gets you there in a set time. Okay. So this is One Take Adventures was answering some of other people's questions. I do short stories about people that had untimely or sad deaths, most from cemeteries. That's interesting, actually. That is interesting. I met a lady land degrees. I do a lot of research and tell a true story. That's the good thing, because that's something that obviously, if it's of interest to you and you're genuinely interested about that, then that will come across when you're sharing it in your videos. And although you're saying maybe that you don't think there'd be an audience for that, I think there are. Like, um, my uh, my real life friend who commented earlier on, Matt, he makes videos and he talks about kind of like sort of historical stuff that's happened in the area that we both grew up, and sometimes just the backstories of people that you never knew who they were, but they've had an interesting life, or something an event that's happened that's interesting. So, I think people are drawn to that type of stuff. And if you're good at telling stories as well, that obviously helps a lot as well. Camille 505, can I donate? Um, so not through YouTube. If you would like to donate, you can have a buy me a coffee that's in my description. Anything is much appreciated, but don't feel obliged. Um, yeah, you have to breach a certain threshold with watch hours and subscribers to accept super chats and lives. So I'm not quite at that point yet, but thank you very much. Uh, look, there you go. Power of YouTube lives. Okay. 3 or 4 hours of research. I enjoy it. Yeah, that's it. If you enjoy it, that's the main thing. And if you've got 3 or 4 hours to do that research as well, then that's good. That's the thing about what I do. I spend quite a bit of time thinking about what the video is going to be about and coming up with like the title and things like that. But generally, I've just got some bullet points of what I want to talk about, and then I just talk, and then I don't do an awful lot of editing. So for me, getting one video out per week is manageable for me. I was trying to do 3 videos per week at one point, and yeah, the quality suffered because it was all just very rushed. Um, so, because doing, a lot of us are doing YouTube on the side of, full-time careers and, managing a family or, whatever other commitments we've got in life. So, um, I've kind of, this kind of style suits me in the sense that people seem to respond to it better, and it doesn't involve a huge amount of editing. But I know a lot of people, they do a lot of research, they do a lot of editing of their video, and it's a lot to try and do when you're doing it on the side of other things. So if you can find a way that, or a workflow that is, optimal, then that definitely helps. Okay, let's go through the questions. A lot of work, but it'll pay off. Yeah, agreed. Solo retired life. Hello. I was just talking about you earlier on. Congrats on 1K. So, solo retired life. She started her channel about, I don't know, like less than a month ago, and first video, and just filmed in her car. I think just on her phone, and I think it had, in the first few days, like 60,000 views, and she quickly got over 1,000 subscribers. So kind of monetized in no time at all. So anyone that's watching this that thinks, oh, I need to have amazing gear or I need to be good at video editing, you know, to kind of make a success of YouTube, you absolutely don't. That's the beautiful thing about YouTube. It's there's no other platform really like it, where anyone can just you know film themselves on the little phone that they keep in their pocket and put it on the internet, for people to find. It's you know I've made videos in the past about, because that was another kind of learning curve for me at the beginning. Was you think, oh, okay, you need to have a fancy camera and studio lights and all this kind of stuff. So I bought this studio light. I've got a mic, not cheap microphone here, and ironically, I've just kind of reverted to using my phone out in a field. Okay, I still use a little microphone, but um, you kind of get sucked in because you see these bigger channels, and they're all in fancy studios, and they've got great quality sound and all this kind of stuff. And you think that to make a success of YouTube, you need all those things, but you don't. actually. You can, it really comes down to the videos that you make. And so Retired Life has done that. And the last time I checked in on your channel was the other day, and I think you're at, like, I want to say 4,500 subs, maybe more than that. Just been doing it a few weeks, so, and with the amount of views that you've had, you'll be monetized already. So it just goes to show you just, anyone thinking about starting and thinking, am I going to be wasting my time? Well, you can. It's not guaranteed. And that's probably a minority case, but it can happen. And you don't need to have amazing cameras. You just need to make videos that people want to watch. It's as simple as that. Okay, let's move on. Like Quest 40, what's your total view time for the past 365 from studio? So let me tell you. If I go to, I'm not going to share my screen because I don't know how to do it on StreamYard. should probably know. Goodness me, I should know how to view. What does that say? Well, I've had 2,145 watch hours. Views. Hang on. So I've had 13,500 views in the last 28 days. Why can't I get this for? Sorry, I should know we're on YouTube Studio by now. Let's go for last 365 days. There we go. I've had 37,626 views, 2,221 watch hours, and 991,382 impressions. So I don't know what that works out as an average click-through rate. It's not that good, actually. But yeah, that's an interesting thing. Click-through rate is something that I've only recently started improving, and that probably coincides with the fact that recently I've had a few videos that have done a lot better than normal. And it's just because I've really started kind of thinking, really spending a lot of time thinking about titles, and not so much the thumbnail image, because it tends just to be an image of me from a video, but the text in the thumbnail. And I am going to make a little video about that soon. Just kind of going through. So I created a checklist recently, which you can download from my page, and I think there's a link to it in my last video. I'll put a link in this video as well once it's finished. And it goes through kind of like a checklist of things that I do now when I think about a video, and I will think about obviously the topic of the video. Is it something people want to watch? And then I've got like a checklist of things that I make sure I'm doing within the title. And since I've started doing that, I've definitely seen my click-through rate improve. But a while back when I was starting, click-through rate was quite low, which can be frustrating at times. But that's another thing as well. I've learned to kind of let it be. Sometimes videos do well, sometimes they don't. And my last two videos, considering recently my videos have been doing a lot better, my last two haven't done as well. But I just kind of, I spend a bit of time kind of assessing why I think that might be, and then I just kind of move on. I used to get frustrated by it, but now I just kind of get on with things. So yeah, I've had 37,000 odd views. But then there's people that have had that in one video. I've done that in like 70 videos. So as I say, everyone's different. side on the YouTube growth niche. Is this your first channel? Yeah, it is my first channel. Well, as I said, this channel was a photography channel years ago, and I'd only had 50 subscribers or so. Um, why did I pick YouTube to talk about? Uh, well, I mean, it's not an easy niche to get into because obviously, people that are wanting to grow YouTube channels are really looking for people that have been there and done it. Um, and that I kind of alluded to that earlier on was that was the mistake I made early was trying to make videos that were telling people how to grow a channel when I hadn't done that. Now, the content of the video wasn't necessarily wrong. You know, the fundamentals I was passing on in those videos were actually correct, but I just didn't have the authority to make videos about that. So that's when I was like, okay, what am I going to do differently? And I thought, well, I actually just really like the process of doing YouTube. So that's where I pivoted from saying, you know, try to tell people, oh, you know, do this, and you'll start to get more views. Instead, I thought, well, I can talk about the difficulties it is in growing a YouTube channel. So it was almost became a documenting my own journey with YouTube. So the first video that really did well for me at the time um, was just me feeling a bit sorry for myself, talking about how my channel hadn't really done anything, and that actually did a lot better because I think a lot of people resonated with that. So uh, that kind of was a kind of light bulb moment of, well, I don't have to be like an expert on this. I can just talk about, you know, my experience, and obviously the longer I do it, the more experience I have to kind of reflect on and then share with other people. So you know, it could be people that are, you know, just beginning, or have been in it for a few months, or have maybe been in it a long time, but you know, have struggled with growth. And um, I think sometimes it's just good to hear other people's struggles because it just reminds you that actually, because a lot of the time you think, oh, am I the only person that can't grow a YouTube channel or that's struggling with this or struggling with that? And hearing from other people that actually there's lots of us in the same boat. Um, so you know, I quite enjoyed making those kind of more motivational videos, and I just really like the topic. You know, and I said earlier on about being passionate about what you speak about. So I genuinely am passionate about YouTube. I'm really passionate about seeing other people grow their channels as well. Um, so yeah, I mean, in hindsight, I'm glad I did pick it. But when I look back, I think, what was I thinking? Like starting off in that niche. Um, but uh, but hey ho, you know, things have moved along a little bit, and I'm still enjoying it. So that's good. All their life adventures. Thanks for answering my question, Steve. I hope it works out for you, mate. Keep on keeping on. Thank you. Resting which face? Hey, thanks. Thanks a lot. Does it help being in a lot of communities, getting your name recognized everywhere? Does that help? I love the idea of having a good community, making friends. Um, well, well, I think it helps in the sense of you meet a lot of like-minded people. Um, so, you know, for example, Rob the Maritimer's lives, he typically gets around 200 people in his lives. And what I found was when I started, you know, it was quite a lonely experience because at the time I was making videos, nobody was really watching them or leaving comments. So you just kind of felt like you're just doing this all on your own. And then when I went into Rob's lives, because obviously, you know, he talks about growing YouTube channels, you found that actually there's lots of like-minded people that are, you know, every week coming into his lives, and they're asking a lot of the questions that you would be asking, and you realize that actually there's lots of people who are just like you and are having the same struggles and what have you, and obviously you ask questions to Rob, you talk amongst yourselves, just like I've seen people talking amongst themselves on this live. Um, and when, because he does his every week, I say you start to see the same faces, and you actually kind of look forward to it because it's almost like a catch up with these people, and you become friends with them. And some of the people I've met through Rob's lives, I speak with outside of YouTube as well, and we bounce ideas off each other and keep each other motivated, and it's a nice thing to have. So, and one of the videos I did not that long ago was things that it was kind of, can't remember what it was called, but it was things that I would have done from the beginning had I known. And one of those was find a YouTube live community that of someone that you enjoy, and get to know those people, and share those experiences and things like that, because it's motivational, and it kind of takes the loneliness out of it, if that makes sense. Here we go. Kate309, congrats, I found your channel this week. Oh, great. Thank you for sharing your experience. Well, thanks very much for watching. Older Life Adventures, another one for One Take Adventures, loving the concept for your channel. So there you go. I think you're discovering that you have got an audience there. Okay, I like the small community I've gotten also the last couple of weeks. I enjoy that. Yeah, the community's what makes it. That's what keeps you motivated. Without that, it just wouldn't be the same. There's no two doubts about that. Rob seems so down to earth. Yeah, he is. I actually had a one-to-one coaching session with him last year as well, and yeah, he's just very easy to speak to, and he's very, very humble for the size of channel that he's got. He's very down to earth, and I think that's why his channel's probably gotten to the size that it has, because he's he hasn't got carried away with it or anything like that. And yeah, it's just cool to kind of listen to him. His live he did when he hit 100,000 subscribers live was nice. It was nice thing to be a part of, because obviously he's put a lot of work into doing that, and as I said, he kind of, I think he really, I think if any, has missed doing a weekly live. I know he's on holiday just now, and he's still doing lives when he's on holiday. So he's been so committed, and he's definitely earned it. So and it couldn't happen to a nicer guy. Yeah. Okay, keep going through these comments. Really felt compelled to tell people stories, mostly that have mostly been forgotten. Yeah, that's a really nice way to put it, actually, because yeah, you do think there's so many lives that have passed, and the stories that they've had, and often those stories die with the person, kind of thing. So it's nice to tell the stories of people that and make sure they're not forgotten. So it's a nice thing. Yeah. Older Life Adventures, the community aspect is the unexpected part I'm mostly enjoying. It's nice to find a positive experience in social media. Yeah, I find YouTube is a completely different what's the word? I think other social media can be a little bit toxic. Just a lot of fake content, and yeah, it's I've got Facebook and Instagram. I use them less and less now. But YouTube's different for sure. There is the odd bad apple, and there's been a few of those in my page or my videos. a really small minority. So yeah, the community is brilliant. There's no two doubt about it. There we go. This is good. Everyone's checking out each other's channels. That's great. The most wonderful unexpected gift. Yeah, absolutely. I think part of that comes down to the fact that everyone who creates YouTube videos knows what goes into it, and they know that it takes a lot of courage sometimes to put yourself out there. So I think there's that mutual respect thing. Um, Even if you're not putting yourself in your videos, it's still putting your work out there for other people to see and potentially critique. Um, so I think there's like a mutual respect, in the YouTube community, which is nice, and there's a lot of support as well, which is good. So um, yeah, it is nice. Metal Ladyland, what channels and communities I've watched so far have all been positive. Yeah, and that's the thing. A lot of people get put off starting their or publishing their first video because they think, oh, there's some nasty trolls out there, and but I mean, I've had maybe four kind of nasty comments, if you like. I typically get over 100 comments in a video, so you know, out of 70, okay, I didn't have 100 comments on my early videos, but there's been a lot, and I've maybe had four comments that have been, you know, a little bit nasty. So the chances of getting them, especially in the first few videos, the chances of a comment time that you do start to get negative comments, you're kind of past it. You've lost that kind of fear factor of going on YouTube, and um, you kind of get like a sense of pride in yourself for what you've done, and obviously you've had the support of other people that have come along with you in that journey. So it's by the time you do get those negative comments, for me anyway, I tended to just kind of shrug it off. I mean, I'm quite thick-skinned. I can take a bit of heat from people, but um, I just kind of shrug it off, and I just don't make a big thing about it. So if anyone's watching that hasn't started yet and that's what they're worrying about, just go for it. And when you do get those comments, it's just not worth your time and energy. Okay, let's have a look at the comments. There's Brian. Hi, Brian. How you doing? Thanks very much. Uh, Me, the TV official. Congrats on the 1K. Thank you. Thank you for the detailed response. That's because I just like talking. I can turn a response into an essay. I've gotten better at not doing that in my actual videos. I used to find my videos were like 35 minutes long, and I'd have to edit a lot because people don't want to listen to me for 35 minutes. Lives are maybe slightly different, but yeah, that's one thing I've definitely improved on is not waffling as much as I used to. I still do waffle, but not as much as I used to. Yeah, this is my only social media, and I'm greatly encouraged for everyone I've met. That's good. Yeah, YouTube's where I spend my time now when it comes to social media. Oh, look, Older, you got a new sub. Amazing. Meet Dad. Meet at dinner. How you doing, fella? I'm well, thank you. Thanks for joining. There we go. I'm just trying to catch up on all these comments. I'm not sure. was here as well. Yeah, yeah, that's where I've been as well. Like, there's been a few times I've thought about, I'm just gonna stop now. I'm far more relaxed about it than I used to be. At the beginning, because I didn't really know any differently, I was always quite frustrated about the pace that I was growing and things like that. But I'm more relaxed about it now. But when I was kind of a little bit down about it at times, it was definitely the other people and the lives and the community side that kept me going. So 100%. Um, Feel free to ask any questions, guys. I'll get to them as I go through the chat. If there's any pain points you guys have got, just feel free to drop them in the chat. Catherine saying the support's incredible. I should actually shout out Catherine because I said earlier that there's a couple of people that I'm in communication with outside of YouTube now, and Catherine's is one of them. And Catherine knows better than anyone the emotional roller coaster that I've experienced with YouTube. Um, so yeah, if you find people that you connect with, and you can have that kind of support network, if you like, it's really good. Three things to do: upload a video, give it a title, make a thumbnail. If you don't make thumbnails, Studio will do that. Any thoughts? Yeah, so when it comes to the thumbnails, you're right. It'll pick a just a still frame from your video. It won't, I think, add text. I know that if you have the paid version of, goodness me, I've forgotten what it's called now. It's like the YouTube plugin. Goodness me, that's shocking that I've forgotten what it's called. I'm sorry, I'm looking at my YouTube channel to find out. vidIQ. vidIQ. Goodness me, I can't believe I forgot that. I think they can do something like fancier stuff. Yeah, I mean, I do think the title and thumbnail make a big difference because it's the only thing that a viewer has got to go on when they're making a decision to click on your video or not. So, um, and again, if you haven't got it already, I haven't got not getting my words tonight. The checklist that I created and I've recently shared, you can download that, and that covers off all the things and that I go through in terms of when I'm thinking about not just the title and thumbnail, like the video as well, but the title and thumbnail are important. But I think when it comes to the thumbnail, my best thumbnails have just been an image from my video, and it's been more the text that I've added to the thumbnail that's made a difference. Because my thumbnail images are nothing special. It's just me typically wearing a woolly hat and a jacket and standing in a field. Like there's nothing particularly alluring about that. But it's the title and the thumbnail text that are doing the work. So I firmly believe that is what makes the difference. It can help attention when they're scrolling, but the text and the title, the thumbnail text and the title are, I think, what's going to encourage the person to click. So I think it is worth spending time thinking about those things. But yeah, in terms of upload, give it a title and a thumbnail, you can obviously just upload without editing. Some people do that. I've managed to get comfortable enough in front of a camera now that I can pretty much record the video in one take, so I don't have to edit particularly. But if there was big pauses, where I'm maybe stopping to think and gather my thoughts, then I would still edit that out. I think that's probably important because people's attention spans are short, and you want to you want to make the video, you want to give as much value in a shorter space of time as you can. So if you've got big pauses and things like that, I think they're definitely worth cutting out. Um, but not if you've got zero video editing skills, and that's a little bit daunting. I would say don't let that stop you uploading those first few videos, but definitely spend a bit of time learning it, because the basics, like just cutting out chunks from your video, is actually really quite straightforward once you know how. And there's free tools that can do it. I just use iMovie on my MacBook. It's free, doesn't cost anything. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. Introvert in Alaska. Steve, your style is recognizable now. I know a video of yours when I see it, and I love that consistency. That's good feedback. Thank you. Yeah, yeah, I think that's part of it, isn't it? It's kind of a, when you're in your videos, it's kind of like a personal brand almost. I don't really like that term particularly, but yeah, that's why I just kind of keep the thumbnails consistent, although they're not particularly exciting. Like I've said, they are kind of consistently the same, so people will get to know them. Um, so which I think is probably a good thing. I spent so much time experimenting with thumbnails. Like I was coming up with like AI thumbnails. There was one video where I put myself in like a Formula One outfit, that was AI generated, and they never. And I thought, oh, they look different. They're going to stand out, but they never did anything. And then I started off with like really bold backgrounds and pulling stupid faces and stuff like that. And um, again, just it wasn't like me. It was just kind of all a bit forced. Um, so yeah, I just kept it simple, and that seems to do better. Community being amazing. Yep. It's unbelievable how there is an audience for every niche. There is, but then it's just as I said before, there's so many people on YouTube that, I mean, I think if you're super, super niche, if you, I don't know what a super, super niche would be, but, if it's something that's like local to, maybe you live in like a small town and you only make videos about that small town, then, you know, that you're not going to grow that channel particularly big, because it could be a town of like 2,000 people, but not all 2,000 of them are going to subscribe to your YouTube channel, if that makes sense. It's so, as long as your niche is like broad enough to have an interest from anywhere in the world, or even anywhere in a particular country, um, it's got the potential to grow big if the content's good. Yeah, and another point that's worth raising is, when it comes to picking your niche, you might be put off by seeing other people, bigger channels that are in that niche, and they're getting hundreds of thousands of views, and think, oh well, it's oversaturated, or there's no room for me. I'm not going to be able to stand out because I can't compete with these people. But the difference is that those creators, obviously, that clearly has got an appeal for a lot of people. Not everyone will like that. So I mean, I'm quite quiet and calm in my videos, and I've had lots of people say they really like that. But equally, I've had a few people that have, not in a nasty way, but they've just kind of said, "Oh, you know, you don't have much energy in your videos." And some people need that. Some people need that kind of bouncy energy to kind of be engaged and what have you. Um, so and that's why being yourself is so important, I think, because you know you can't really pretend to be someone you're not, and there's no point in doing that, because you're never going to appeal to everybody. So the best thing is just to be yourself, and YouTube is there's so many people on YouTube. There's enough people that can find you and that will actually like you just for who you are. Um, so even if you're talking about something that lots of other channels talk about, it's your unique perspective, it's your unique style and how you deliver your video. Um, that there will be people who will find you because YouTube will find them for you, and they'll watch you and they'll like you, and they'll like how you talk about this topic. They'll like your opinions on this topic, and that again is the beauty of YouTube is that everyone can have an audience, and I 100% believe that. Catherine, Steve, you've done a great job. You stuck with it and found your style. Yeah, yeah, and this is it. I've dotted around, trying different things, and that's how we learn. Sometimes you have to try things and see what happens, and you learn from them. But yeah, for me now, it's just hitting record and talking like I would talking to a friend, and obviously it helps. The longer you do it, the more comfortable you get talking to a camera. Felt like an idiot to start with, and that's normal. Didn't like how I looked on camera, didn't look like how I sounded, and then that all went as well. So again, anyone that's new or thinking about starting, these are the kind of mental barriers that you have to break through. But it normalizes. The more you do it, it just becomes normal. Solo retired life. That's so true. So many supportive people along the way. Yep, absolutely. It's kind of unique compared to a lot of other platforms. Hippie Chick Historian, congratulations. Thank you. Good to hear from you. My storytelling isn't great yet, but working on that. Yeah, but that's fine. It's like I was literally just saying, everyone starts off and a bit nervous, a bit tense on camera and stuff like that. But the more you relax into it, and obviously if you're researching these stories, and you're genuinely interested yourself in them, the enthusiasm will start to come out, and that obviously aids your storytelling as well. So just stick with it. Yeah, definitely. Steve mentioned after the first year video, you start to get better when you run out of your fresh beginning ideas. Yeah, yeah. Sometimes when you start, you've maybe got like 10 solid ideas kind of written down, and then you do sometimes reach a point where uh, you start to run out of ideas, especially if you're trying to do like more than one video a week. But there's multiple ways that you can come up with ideas. You can use Chat GPT. You can ask them you can tell them what your channel's about, what you've done so far, and they'll come up with, maybe tell them these are the videos that perform best. In fact, you can just get it to go and look at your channel, and it'll tell you, oh, people tend to respond better to these videos. So maybe, and they'll pick suggest something closely related to that. Looking at other people who make videos in your niche, seeing what has worked for them, what outliers they've had, can really help as well. So, yeah, there's lots of ways to come up with ideas. But yeah, sometimes you can get a little bit stuck. It's so scary starting. That's where I am now. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. And obviously, some people will be more intimidated than others. But for what it's worth, like I started off and I was nervous about it, and I always thought like, oh, people I know is going to see this, and admittedly, I think there's two people I know that have found me, but then they're both on YouTube as well. So, but yeah, it's the awkwardness in front of camera. It's the not liking how you sound, and it's just the kind of fear of judgment, I suppose, and all that type of stuff. Especially, for a lot of younger people, um, they may be less paranoid about it because they're probably a generation that's been surrounded by the internet, surrounded by social media, and seeing normal people filming themselves is just completely normal. Um, but for us, slightly older, um, we remember a time where, uh, pre-internet and pre-social media, where if you saw somebody, vlogging in a busy high street, you'd think they were nuts. Whereas now that's a normal thing. So, you know, I think, but you get past it. You do get past it for sure. You can. Catherine says it is scary, but the only way that goes away is by doing it. Yep, absolutely. Just be you in your videos. Authentic is the key. Yeah, that's certainly what's made a difference for me. Is I think people aren't stupid. They can see through it if something's forced or staged or whatever. I think the trust, and because this is the thing, there's so many people and that make videos that you make as well. So people have got options. Is people will say, like, a person, I'm going to watch their videos um, because they are authentic, and what you see is what you get. And if that personality is something that they are drawn towards, then that works. And I say you can't please everybody, so there's no point in trying to pretend you're something you're not. That's why I'm following Steve, Rob, and Kev to keep motivated while you figure it out. Well, yeah, absolutely. Kevin's another good shout as well. Kevin's another guy who obviously is, in the same kind of level as Rob, if you like, in terms of the size of his channel, but he's um, very down to earth and really helpful. Lots of good content. So I'm trying to click on these comments, and they're just taking a bit of time to load. I have a question. I seem to be stuck in the zero view jail. My channel is relatively new and I'm Dutch, but this was really frustrating me. Okay. So I don't know how many videos you've done, but it's not uncommon to have zero views. As soul destroying as it sounds, but if you when you start and YouTube's got no idea who this new person is and what they're all about, and as I said earlier, um, its priority is putting videos in front of people that they think they want to watch. So when they don't have any history to go on your channel, they don't put it in front of that many people because um, they don't want to take too much of a gamble. So let's just say that your first video got 50 impressions. And by impressions, for anyone that doesn't know, that's just how many times your thumbnail appears on someone's screen. So 50 impressions, say, just a small test of that video. And, even 5% click through rate, which isn't that bad a click through rate, that's still only 2.5 of 50. So, that's that's it's not uncommon to get literally one or two views or maybe even no views on a video when you first start out. So don't be disheartened by it. It always just comes back to if you are making, if you know who your target audience is and you're thinking like your viewer, like, what am I looking for? If you are, you know, a DIY channel, for example, what questions does my ideal viewer have that I can answer? What problems can I offer them a solution to? You know, what value will they get from watching this video? Or, if I make this video, what value are they going to get from it? What's their takeaway? And if you just consistently keep doing that and thinking like your viewer, um, then you should hopefully start to see some traction. Okay. Brian, I'm a few hundred subscribers into my YouTube journey. You have been an inspiration to me. Thank you, Steve. Ah, that's nice, Brian. Thanks. Yeah, I mean, I'm just really uh, sharing the struggles and trying to encourage people to keep going, because I know that it can be uh, difficult sometimes, especially when we're taking time out of our already busy lives to do this. So yeah, it's yeah, that's it's always nice to hear when people say that things like that, because um, I just want people's channels to grow. I want them to experience that, for whatever their motivation is, whether it's just for the challenge of doing it, whether it's because they want to make money from it. Um, you know, it's I like to see success stories, and I like to hear of people that grow, and tell inspiring stories of other people that have done to try and inspire other people as well. So yeah, that's good. Sorry, my thing's jumping around here. Metal Ladyland. I'm doing it on exploring churches, castles, and cathedrals, and also like to do music reactions. Um, Hippie historian chick who was, I'm not sure if she's still watching, but she was commenting earlier on. She does similar style to that, and they're really good. But that's the sort of thing that interests me, because I'm a bit of a kind of history person, and all these old places, especially castles for me in particular, but even cathedrals as well. Some of them are really impressive. So, and obviously got a lot of history to them. So yeah, I think there's definitely an audience for that. Music reactions, I would say keep separate, um, on a separate channel if you can commit the time to doing the two. I wouldn't do them together on the same channel, but or pick one or the other, whatever one you think has got the most longevity or the one that you're most interested in. Um, Amelia TV official, and I thought I was doing well getting almost 900 a month. You have done well getting 900 in a month. Make no mistake about that. That is really good going. But I'm assuming you're referring to Solo Retired Life, who's done amazing, really, really well. Um, so yeah, but no, 900 in a month is amazing. It's taken me the best part of a year to get to 1,000. So if you've done 900 a month, then you're doing well. See, we're seeing the evidence, Metal Ladyland. Catherine saying, wow, that sounds really interesting. Yeah, the two niches may not mix. And yeah, good idea to use Chat GPT. Very interesting stuff. Yeah, it sounds like you've got a ready-made audience here. 7.22 thousand subscribers, Leanne. That's, yeah. And I think it's been less than a month, if I remember, or maybe just about a month. That's mad. That's so, yeah, I mean, in a good way. Scottish people call things mad. That means it's good. Um, let's have a look through some of the questions. It's taken a while to load comments for some reason. I was amazed as well, not gonna lie. It's a little overwhelming. That's where those breathing techniques come in. Yeah, I mean, this is it, I suppose. I can't talk from experience, but um, you know, to with literally your first kind of video to kind of go viral the way it did, you know, it's you are a part of a very small minority. That's the truth. Not many people will experience that. So I can understand why it'd be overwhelming. You're getting obviously all these people, kind of ascending on your channel and commenting, I'm sure in a really good way. Um, and then, all the other things that come with the channel getting to that kind of size as well. So, but it's great. It's as I said, there's nothing else on the internet really that could give you that in such a short time. And that's why I love YouTube. It's anyone can do that in theory. Not many people live it that quickly, like you have, but no, it's a great thing. Okay, let's have a look here. Hey Steve, congrats on your 1K. Huge fan, Sean here. Hi Sean. How did you stay with the niche given never contemplate changing or switching focus in the early days? Um, yeah, so I, 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 I mentioned this earlier. I was making the wrong videos in the beginning. Um, I was making videos about how to get more views, how to grow a channel. When yeah, looking back, it was kind of silly to make those videos because I wasn't a big channel. Yeah, I hadn't grown a channel any real size, and I wasn't getting huge numbers of views. So and I was like, yeah, okay, because I'd researched these things and how to do it, I thought that qualify me to make those videos, which it didn't. So yeah, I did have to want to do differently. Um, I thought about changing channels entirely and talking about other things. I could have gone in to talk about photography and things because that's something that I've enjoyed doing in the past and I'm quite knowledgeable on. But it was mainly kind of landscape photography, and those types of videos were going to take me a lot of time, which I didn't have. I've got a young family, I've got a busy job, and I I just couldn't really keep going. It wasn't going to be sustainable to make those types of videos. Um, but I really, really enjoyed talking about YouTube. The more that I did it, the more I enjoyed it. So yeah, I kind of said, right, okay, well, maybe I can't talk about how to get views or how to grow, but I can talk about my experiences, and I can make people, let people know going through these same struggles are all alone. Um, as I said, sometimes YouTube feels lonely because you see, you tend to not look immediately around you. You're looking up and you're looking at the channels that have been there and done it, and you're comparing yourself unfairly against them. Um, so, my job, if you like, is to kind of show that actually there's lots of other small creators just like you, that have the same struggles as you have, and you know can share those experiences and to people that are you know alongside me or maybe slightly further behind, so that people can ultimately get to where they want to get quicker, because maybe they can learn from the mistakes that I've made in the early stages. So I felt like there's still value in making videos about YouTube. They just have to be framed in a certain way. Okay. Still got 23 people here. That's great. Just going to keep going through the comments. High view time and high CTRs, subs slow, but that's okay. Full time here at YouTube, one sub at a time. So high views and high click-through rates is good. That's what we want. We want people to click on the video. Retention is obviously important as well. If you can get good click-through rate and good retention, good average view duration on a video, then that's the kind of the main signals YouTube looks at to kind of keep casting the net wider and wider for that video. But yeah, that's good. And if you keep, the subscribers will come. If you're getting good numbers like that, then over time YouTube will will kind of put your videos out wider, and the subscribers will come with that, I think. Okay. The Garden Grader, my other channel, is so different. I have 1,600 watch hours and only 37 subs and around 20 views a day. That's a good amount of watch hours. 20 views a day. Obviously, don't know how many videos you've got on that channel. You're saying it's so different. I don't know if I saw another comment. I'm interested how that compares with your Garden Grader channel. Are they on? It gets a tiny bit easier each video that you upload. Absolutely, absolutely. You get quicker at doing things. You get more confident at doing things. Absolutely. Yeah, I see a lot of subbing going on tonight. That's good. Does anyone have an idea? Posting videos but constantly staying at 0 views. So yeah, I did answer your question earlier. I think, yeah, just think like your viewer. Who is your viewer? What type of things do they want to see and watch? And just always think like them when you're coming up with your ideas. They should always be getting something from watching it. Whether it's enlightening them in some way, teaching them something, entertaining them. There needs to be something in it for the viewer. What are they going to get from watching it? When you start to think like that, then, and if you can have titles and thumbnails which allude to what that video is going to give them, you'll get more people clicking, more people watching. And if you keep consistently doing that, YouTube will build the trust in your channel. Hopefully that helps. Support here is amazing. I've downloaded Steve's checklist and I'm out walking around with my camera, getting my confidence up. And well, that's a fair point as well. So, you're potentially out in public places filming yourself. So that's ultra courageous to do that. In my videos, I go into a field where there's no one there. But I have set myself a challenge of doing one of my videos in a more public setting, just not because I would necessarily make that a habit, but more just to prove to myself that I can do that. But yeah, it's, there's different things, you could be doing it from the safety of your own house, like this, or you could be outdoors in a quiet area, outdoors in a busy area. So yeah, it's an extra layer. But if you can practice that and get more comfortable with that, then you're off and running. Okay, keep going through the comments. But my voice, no lie, but I felt compelled to share people's stories. Yeah, now that's the thing. Like, I think as we get older, we obviously get more confidence and more comfortable in ourselves and all the rest of it. But you know, things that happen when we were kids, getting teased, it does stay with you, to an extent, and but that makes it all the more impressive that you're doing what you're doing, and uh, you know, I think yeah, these things sometimes can live with us, I got teased a little bit at school for things as well, and um, you know, I think I'm a more confident person now than I was back then. Um, but if I really thought about it when I first started, there probably was things from my childhood that made me that had that imposter syndrome coming in, and maybe held me back from starting a bit sooner than what I did. But what I would say is, having started and having done it, I've got zero regrets. I enjoy it. So um, yeah, don't let those things hold you back. Okay, let's have a look. 8 to 12% CTR seems to be my average, towards the 8% for higher impressions. That's 8% on high level impressions is good for sure. Uh, let's keep going. Flight Quest 40. Thanks, Steve, from Steve. Another Steve. Great. I'm just reading through the comments. I'm not bringing them up on screen, but there's lots of mutual support from one another, which is great. Introvert. Steve, you've done incredible, and you're uplifting and encouraging others. It's a great content strategy. Uh, thanks. Yeah, yeah. I mean, and this is why I'm not surprised reading through the comments in here, is that the people that watch my videos are all supporting one another in the comments as well, offering encouragement and things, because um, I think to the teams understands what it takes to do this. Both the time and having the courage to do it in the first place, when you maybe don't feel comfortable. Um, we've all been at the beginning. We all can relate with that kind of first few weeks and months, and um, so when you do encounter other people that are at that stage, I think it's important to offer that encouragement, because you know uh, we've maybe had that encouragement ourselves in the beginning as well. So it's only fair to kind of pass that forward, um, because there's the risk that if people don't get that encouragement, maybe they throw in the towel too early, and which I always think is a great shame. I think if you enjoy the process and making the content, whatever happens with your channel, if you enjoy doing it, then maybe we should all be doing more of the things we enjoy in our life. So if you choose one of them, we should definitely be doing it. Right, let's keep going. The German Frontier, nice small channel. Did you have your 4,000 hour watch time too? I have not got my 4,000 watch. I'm assuming that question's for me. No, I'm about halfway there. So, but I think the way things are going just now, I think the watch hours will come fairly soon. But obviously, got to keep making videos. Introvert Rob has inspired and encouraged many of us, and yet there is room for more like-minded. Yeah, I think there's room for loads. Absolutely. Another sub, a sub for an introvert this time. One take adventures. I work two jobs and I record on the weekends. Well, fair play. That's good going because I know it can be hard finding the. I find it hard with one job finding the time. So if you're managing to do it with two jobs, then good on you. A lot of people saying Rob is the first the person who's they find. I think a lot of people's community side of YouTube started with Rob and his lives. I think Introvert says recreators pour our hearts and souls into our content. I think that's why the community connection is so vital. Yep. Lots of talk about the community. Oh, ask Carmen. I get haters on the daily. I welcome it. It helps my views. Yeah, I mean, you're right. I think any engagement is good as far as the algorithm's concerned. It doesn't care that people are saying bad things. I hope people aren't being too nasty to you on a daily basis, though, because it's not a nice thing. But you're taking the right attitude. Just ignore it. It's yeah. I think that it's more. It says more about the person leaving the comment. I could watch a video on YouTube that I didn't like, but I'll just close the video and move on with my life. I'm not going to feel compelled to actually go out of my way to take someone to task on that video. Um, so yeah, it really isn't worth the time and effort. And a lot of people say that actually, the more haters that you get, it's more a sign that you're doing something right. Because I think most of it is stemmed out of sort of jealousy, if anything. Maybe people that just uh, nothing better to do with their time, and as yeah, says more about those people. So, but yeah, I'd like to think that you weren't getting them daily. That's I don't like the idea of that, but yeah, if you're shrugging it off, then it's fine. The German frontier. That is true. I'm on YouTube since 2011. One guy hat helped me back. That channel's growing big at the time, and we're still friends. Fantasy Waves is here. I wanted to stop by and say congratulations. I can't stay because I'm working. Have a great day and a great live. Thank you very much. You've probably gone off by now because I don't know how long ago that was. I've lost all track of time. For these comments, I'm really not keeping up with the comments. German Frontier says, I am new in English YouTube and do not have friends that help each other. Well, you might find some here. Okay. Sorry, I'm going to try and catch up. Oh yeah, Amelia TV official said vidIQ question mark. I was speaking about that earlier on. If you're still watching, vidIQ, it's they've got a YouTube channel and it's all about like YouTube tips and tricks, and you can download a free plugin on your YouTube channel. I've got the free one. There's also a paid version, but it helps you. It kind of ranks like your titles. So when you put your title in for your video, it'll tell you how good it thinks the title is. It offers you alternative suggestions, and it gives you. I think it can do AI thumbnails, but you maybe have to pay for that version. I can't remember. But yeah, it's just a plugin that you can have. I think TubeBuddy is another one which I've not used. But the free, even the free version is quite useful. So it's worth checking out. Someone saying they use Canva for their thumbnails. Yep, me too. It's really good. Even the free version of that's really good. Metal Ladyland says, I've been watching Steve's videos on how to make thumbnails. It takes me ages. I mean, if you use the free Canva version, once you've kind of used it a few times, like anything else, it becomes easier. But um, yeah, just you don't have to get too carried away with thumbnails. As I said before, I think the text in a thumbnail and what it says is probably more important than the actual image. My experience, anyway. Uh, Craftic Minecraft Animation says, "Congrats, thank you." Brian Harder says, "Zero editing skills here. I'm not much further ahead. I can edit out bits, but I can cut chunks out of videos, but and that's all I really need to do, to be honest. I've not really learnt much beyond that." Amelia says, "DaVinci Resolve is my go-to for a long time now." Yeah, it's very popular. Well, Introverts said I have to go. That was about 40 minutes ago. So um, she says, "Goodbye, wonderful souls," in the chat. Just trying to catch up. What's this one say? There's Brian again. "You're exactly right, Steve. There could be 100 people on YouTube saying the same thing, but one of those may resonate with you more than others." Absolutely. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Yes, please. Much appreciated. God, I'm really going to have to get better at keeping up with chats. I don't know how Rob does it when he's got 200 people here. I've got 22. Ethereal Moonlight reached my 1K back in January. That's great. Congratulations on that. SACG 2021, I have 150, say that again. I have 159 subs and 1,300 watch hours. Is that good? 1,300 watch hours for 159 subs is very good. To give you some perspective, I've got 2,100 watch hours with 1,000 subs. So yeah, I think you might be one of these channels who actually gets the watch hours before they get the subs for monetization. I think typically watch hours are the hardest thing to get. Most people hit 1,000 subs, then get the watch hours. That's how it's going to play out for me now. If you keep going and the subs start to rack up, then you should get monetized. But you might be on course to get the watch hours first. But people say that's the most difficult part, so take that as encouragement for sure. Just want to take a bench up to 38 subs, getting close to my goal of 50. Yeah, 50 is a good goal to have as well. You find that you kind of set the milestones. It's like 50, then 100, 200, etc. And then, but it's good to have those kind of mini goals to kind of keep things fun and keep it interesting. But I think ultimately, you just keep setting the number higher all the time, but it's great. It's great to have those targets. Let's see. We've got DG Outdoors channel. Hi guys, congrats on 1,000 subs. Thank you. Oh, this is interesting. I won one of the YouTube Next Up Europe in 2011. Got a week at Google London and lots of advice there. A lot seems to still hold up after all these years. YouTube is fundamentally about getting people to watch on the platform for as long as possible. More people are watching for longer, the more ads are played, the more ad money or ad revenue YouTube makes. And that is always going to be the core principle. So as long as you can make videos and that people click on and actually watch for a good length of time, then that's what YouTube's interested in. If you can consistently do that by putting your viewer first, um, and obviously, honing your craft, kind of getting better in front of camera, that type of thing, then you should see growth, because that's what YouTube's all about. And I made a video a few weeks ago, which did quite well actually, and I think it was like YouTube gurus are lying to you, I think I called it. And this is because you've got certain YouTube gurus that are trying to push this narrative that YouTube's really hard, and there's I've got the secret formula, buy my course and I'll give you the secret formula kind of thing. It's all nonsense. Like, there's core principles which never change, and if you can get your head around them and just practice them and get better at those, then yeah, then you should see some success for sure. But that goes to show you, 2011, we're now 2026, and it's still the same principle. Still the same principle. Okay. You're saying not sure. I think it's nice to have more subs with the watch. Watch hours are good, so people are viewing your videos. You maybe just need to think about how can I convert those views to subscribers. So, I think talking directly to your viewer, engaging with them, making them feel like they're being heard, that you're talking to them directly, that you are relating to them, that they can relate to you. Think about it that way, and you might start to see a bit of an uptake on subscribers. Okay. Brian says, thanks for letting me jump. Autumn River Designs, congratulations, always enjoys your videos. Calm voice of reason. Yeah. I get a lot of people telling me that I'm a calm voice of reason. So, which is good. I like to, as I said earlier on, some people need the bounce and the energy, but that's not me. We've got Life with Jen. Congrats on 1,000 subs, Steve. I love that you're celebrating this milestone. I'm on a slow journey too, but trusting the process. Yeah, well, you've got to celebrate the milestones. The truth is that I've missed doing the lives. It's nice commenting back and forth on videos with people that are kind of regularly watching and things, but talking to people real time is nice. Be able to answer people's questions real time from the chat. But it's nice to speak to people, and I haven't done this for a while, and I realised now that I've actually really quite missed it a fair bit. So I think I'll try and do it more. In terms of your own journey, slow journey too, but trusting the process. Yeah, and everyone's journey is different, and if you trust the process, if you enjoy it, keep going, and you'll get there for sure. This is a good comment. Maybe we should start talking nonsense for a few minutes before filming, might be the key. People do that. People loosen off. There's a guy called Alexander the Create, I think his channel is, and he talks about camera confidence and being comfortable on camera. and I've taken a few tips from him as well. And yeah, some people just they kind of shake off and uh, sing or just blurb out of their mouth just nonsense just to loosen off, just to get more relaxed on before they start, and it kind of gets rid of that kind of tense kind of stiffness and things. Yeah, it's I think it was maybe said in jest. I don't know, but I think actually there's some truth in that. Um, I kind of do that. I when I set off, I have like the spot that I typically film my videos in the field, and I'll be walking the dog, and I'll just talk to the dog and just kind of have a chat to myself walking along, just to kind of get myself in the zone. One take adventure says yes, like a warm up. Yep, absolutely. Um, it's a long game, iteration and feedback loops. Yep. Um, it is. Yeah, it's you have to put the reps in and learn as you go. I think watch your videos back, the ones that haven't done well. What could you have done better? The ones that have done better than usual. Really kind of study those and think, okay, what did work about that? So yeah, it's constant, um, you know, learning, I suppose. Uh, the video I did before, not my last one, but the one before, didn't do as well as my most recent ones have been doing. And I looked at it a few days later, and I was like, the title's just so vague. Like it was almost looked a little bit clickbaity, and I thought, yeah, people haven't clicked on that um, because it was at well, it had a good through rate for about 3 days, and then day three, suddenly they got a huge jump in impressions, but literally nobody clicked on it. So the click through rate went from like 8% down to 2%. And I was like, why is that? And then I looked at it, I was like, the title is just too vague. There was nothing in the title that was really suggesting to the viewer that what am I going to get if I click on this? And which is, I was annoyed because that's kind of one of the things that I usually do. Um, but but then it's just uh, it's just a lesson to learn, isn't it? So yeah. One Take Adventure says oh, I started doing that on my way to the sites when I'm taking my videos. It has helped. And then you followed up with, I better look crazy though. Well, that's the thing. I can do it in a field where there's no one around. I can talk to myself, and I would look crazy if there was anyone to see it. Um, Hello from Sweden. Oh yeah, you commented earlier on. Hello, hello. Um, I'm just having a look at my more comments. Casey, hi Casey. Celebrate your 1,000 K sub, Steve. More wins to you, bro. Thank you. Retired and cooking with Aino. Congrats. Thank you for the encouraging videos. You're growing fast by remaining consistent and putting good content out there. I saw when you were only a few subscribers like me. Well, thank you for that. Okay. Oh, there's 11 Labs, great for music and sound effects too, £5 a month. Well, that's interesting to know actually, because some of these sites can be quite expensive. Um, I used to, when I did studio videos, I used to put music in them, and then I didn't feel like they were adding much to the video, so I stopped. But um, I used, oh god, what's it called? Um, it might come back to me. I can't remember. Um, Ben Sounds, I think it was called Ben Sounds, Ben Sounds. Um, they had music you could pay for, but there was lots of free stuff there as well. You just had to use a unique um, code every time you used it. So even if you used the same music in every video, you'd have to go back and get a unique code for copyright, which meant you had to download the song every time. So that was the way you got around it, but it was good if you wanted free music. Okay. Jim Terror plays. Congrats with 1,000 subs. How long did it take you to get to 1,000 subs? If you could invest money into your YouTube channel, what would you pick? I don't mean any gear. Um, so how long did it take? So started in April last year and got to 1,000 subs last week. So yeah, and I did start with I recycled an old channel that had about 55 subs. So I had a bit of a head start, but those have probably been lost over this last year because it's a totally different topic than what I'd started with. So whatever subs I did have, they've probably all unsubscribed by now. In terms of if you could put money into your YouTube channel, what would you pick? I don't mean any gear. Um, what would I pay for that isn't gear? I'm not sure. Can't think what I would need to pay for that isn't gear. I pay for a Canva prescription, prescription subscription. Sorry, because I find that a really useful tool. It's good for creating like my free downloads. It's good for doing thumbnails. So I don't know if that's what you were thinking, but that would be the answer. Um, I found your channel recently, a month and a half into a rebrand. Congrats on your sub milestone. Cheers from across the pond. Thanks, JB. Thank you. Okay, yeah, Garden Grader. I asked you this earlier on. So the Garden Grader was a fun channel with my kids. Other channels, TV art, super niche. Yeah, I I think about TV art. It's not something I know of. I guess makes your point, but um, I like the Garden Grader logo and stuff that you've got. Okay, let's just keep going through these. What time are we at? Almost 2 hours. I'm going to keep going through. Uh, oh, Jim over 30s here. Hey everyone, congrats on the 1,000k, 1,000k, one, yeah, 1,000 subs. It's getting late here. I'm getting tired. Thanks, mate. There's lots of good chat going on here. Try to bring up this comment on the screen. This was the one I was in. Consumer compute. Ignore the bad comments. The YouTube thing isn't easy. I guarantee whoever I was giving you bad comments doesn't even have any subscribers. Yeah, it tends to be the way. Tends to be people that when you look at their channels, it's just, people that don't appreciate what it takes to make YouTube videos and put yourself out there. But yeah, they're not worth the energy. Really not worth the energy. And you won't win. You can try and have the battle if you want, but they'll have an answer every time. So your best bet is just to ignore it. Um, actually use ChatGPT. I'm able to train it to generate pictures that look like me, and it's free. Yeah, when I was dabbling with YouTube, with AI thumbnails, I used ChatGPT quite a bit, and at the time, I mean, this is not that long ago, but it wasn't really that good, or it wasn't consistently good. But I know people that are using it now, and it's really good. So I might actually try it sometime. I don't know if I would use it because it's not really the style that I do, but I'm interested to see what it would do now. Yeah, but it is a good tool. Uh, Amelia TV Official says that she actually makes videos out of her negative comments. That's a good idea. I've done that actually. I had an attempt at being funny, which is really, the jury's out on that, to be honest. But yeah, I just made this one about this guy who left a negative comment, and we got into a little bit of back and forth. Which, as I say, it's, in hindsight, it was pointless getting into that back and forth with this person, but I did do it, and I made a video about it. It was quite funny, if I do say so. Uh, Trail Watch, Bra Live Mate. That has to be someone who's lives near me that's saying bra. If anyone doesn't know what bra means, it means good. Look forward to your next upload. Good luck to everybody in the comments on their creative journeys. Thanks a lot, mate. Yeah. Jim Terra plays, yeah, I've always invested in audio lighting and edits. I have a video with 4,500 views, over 200 likes, over 100 comments, and with an average view duration of 12:37, which is a retention rate of 29 to 30%. So I think my editing is good. Yeah, I mean, editing, depending on the type of video you're making, obviously the editing can be crucial. Goodish 2025. Well done, Steve. Thank you. 510 impressions in my last video is a grind. How many videos have you done on this channel, out of curiosity? Bro is way behind on the chat, I know. I'm really struggling to keep up. Listen, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to jump to the newest comments. I'm probably going to wrap things up fairly soon. Right. Here we go. Pernilla's here. Bra is good in Swedish. There you go. So we share a word, because yeah, bra, that's a Scottish thing. Although it tends to be more kind of Dundee, specifically. Okay, I'm going to work back from the bottom, because yeah, I'm aware. Ooh, I didn't think I banned anyone. Sorry if I banned someone by accident. I didn't wittingly ban somebody. Okay, I'm working back the way. Philip George, hey Philip. Congrats on the 1K, thank you. Hello from Ganaragak 6481. Hello to you. Thanks, Pernilla. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to keep going back. There's lots of people sharing advice, which is great. This is an interesting one, actually. Goodish 2025. I mostly watch my big TV, so I rarely comment. I do try to always give a like though. Yeah, and that's interesting because there's well, I do watch a lot of videos that people say they tend to or there's a trend moving towards people watching on their TVs, and I I don't watch a huge amount. I tend to watch vlogs on my TV. That's something like I'll sit down to watch. But yeah, I am aware of the fact that I can't comment on the video. Um, so and the engagement part of it's important to me, kind of thing. So, um, but yeah, I think if you're watching the TV a lot, you're probably less inclined to comment because you don't really have the mechanism unless you go into the same video on your phone. Um, getting badgered by crafting Minecraft animations. Keep up on the chat. I know I've been horrendously bad. She should we start using Zulu times so Steve knows how long ago we posted. I'm getting proper torn to shreds here. Um, yeah, I know I've been horrendous at keeping up with the comments. Let's go back to real time. We must be quite close. Bro is a good word, but bampot is my favourite insult. Bampot. Yeah, I've not heard that for a long time. Oi, amigo. Oh, okay. The Portuguese. I'm not going to pretend. I haven't got Google Translate to hand. Hopefully, it was something nice. Jim says, always make my content with TV in mind, not shorts. Yeah, I think because you can go into the studio and it'll tell you like percentage of views that come from what type of platform. I think mine's is about 10% from TV, so it's not much, but I think it does come down to the type of content you make as well. I think, like I say, I think vlogs, especially like I watch some vlogs that are 20 to 30 minutes long, so I almost like treat it like a TV episode. So I'll like actually, wait until it's like the evening and I'll sit down and I'll watch it. Um, so yeah, I think the content type of content helps. Metal Leland, Amelia, what does spam pop mean? I'm not sure what exactly it means, uh, but it's not meant as a compliment. I'm wondering if people subscribe on TV. I never do. I just watch the content. I think it's quite easy to subscribe, um, but yeah, commenting because you haven't got a keyboard. I don't even know if there is an option on the user interface on your TV to comment. I think there must be, but then uh, you just have to be kind of scrolling across for each letter. I could be annoyed with that. It's not that easy to keep up. They have failed miserably. It's been a struggle. I go off on tangents when I see comments and start talking, and then I realise there's been about 50 comments in the time that I've spoken. Stupid, Egypt, idiot, etc. Yeah. I hope I've not missed a comment and someone's been calling me a bampot, by the way. I'll go back and find it. Sorry, my English is terrible. Better than my Brazilian. Fab, I'm going to start using that. Never heard of it before. I thought, in my head, I was thinking, oh, does she mean vidIQ? But no, you mean bampot, don't you? Can have. It would be. I don't think you can. after this, I'm going to go and look to see if you can though. You can definitely see the viewers that you've had, like, what, like, 10% for me, of views have come from television. I think it tells you if it's like a phone, if it's a tablet, if it's a laptop, or just like a PC. So it could be like a laptop or a desktop. Um, I don't think I don't think for any other type of device it would really change the content that I make. But if I felt like it was leaning more towards people watching on a TV, it might influence that because I feel like TV people actually want to sit down and watch. Whereas if it's just on your phone, for example, often like I'll put it again, it depends the type of content you make. If people don't need to watch it, so if you're just speaking and there's not really much visually going on, then people like I'll put, you know, a video on to listen to while I'm like cooking, for example. So I'm not really watching what's on the screen. I'm really just listening in. Um, but if people were watching mostly on a television, I'd probably think, oh, maybe I should have more going on visually, to keep things interesting, if that makes sense. Okay. Hello from Australia. Recently discovered your channel and quickly subscribed. Like your authenticity. Thank you. Hopefully, my Australian accent attempt isn't going to make you unsubscribe. um, you're right about people moving towards TV. 20% of my audience are watching on TV, which is really interesting. Yeah, I think it's definitely leaning that way. I think I did read that it's the I'm not quite sure how to put it, but like it's the most progressive format, you know. But then I guess that's maybe because traditionally YouTube has been more phones and computers and stuff like that. So, um, but yeah, I think depends on your content you're doing. Um, some may lean itself towards television better, I guess. Watching just on a handheld device. YouTube's bigger than Netflix. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think that's the thing as well because even like established um, businesses or uh, celebrities, they've got YouTube, and I think podcasts are obviously a big thing now. And obviously podcasts traditionally were just audio, but now a lot of famous people have got proper professional studio spaces that are very visually appealing, and the podcast could be like a 2-hour conversation, um, and pitching that. So that sort of thing, I think, really lends itself towards television. Because I think podcast is a great concept. It's like this, like me talking to a camera and talking to you guys, but just one person, and obviously feeding off of what you guys are saying in the comments is one thing, but actually having two people or two or three people in kind of conversation with one another, especially if it's obviously covering a topic that you like. I just think the format's very good. So I can see why they've taken it, added another layer to that by saying, right, okay, it's not just going to be audio. We're going to actually um, have like a proper studio setup and all that. So they're coming into that space as well, and people are people with like massive productions are creating YouTube videos like almost like movies and TV shows. So it's becoming more like Netflix, but it's still got that space for you and I, everyday people, and that's why I still like it. I don't think it will ever shift and become just another Netflix or a Hulu or whatever it is, because that's its uniqueness. The fact that everyday people can record themselves in a phone and put it on YouTube, that's their USP. They're not going to get rid of that. That's my thought anyway. Okay, right. Yeah, make YouTube be what it's always meant to be. So I'm probably going to call it a day there. Sorry, I wasn't able to keep up with the comments. I've probably missed some. Um, Apologies if I've not answered any questions that that may have been asked, but hopefully I managed to get through quite a lot. Um, yeah. So anyway, listen, this was good. I enjoyed it. I'm probably going to do more of these. As I say, I used to do them every 2 weeks, and I just kind of got caught up with other things and stopped. So, but now that the channel's grown a bit, and it's been nice, I think I've consistently had about kind of 20 people um, here tonight, on and off, joining, coming and going. So it's been nice. Um, I'll promise to get better at reading the comments. But yeah, listen, it was nice to kind of celebrate this little milestone with you guys. Thanks for all the support that you guys have shown to the channel and to myself, and all the words of encouragement. It really does mean a lot. And yeah, more videos to come, more lives to come, and hope you all have a good week. Okay, I'll speak to you soon.